Shema!
And welcome to Beyond Borders, welcome to the channel, and welcome to the Poland series where we're getting to know Poland a bit better. We are planning our next trip, which is around the corner, and we came across this video of 13 things that you should never do in Poland. And I thought, what a great way to maybe do a comparison, because this guy looks like he's been to Poland pretty recently, and I think it'll be a very good video to comment on whether his stuff is true, if it's relevant, and based on our experience, if any of it is actually valid.
Yeah, I'm actually very curious to see what 13 things he suggests you shouldn't do, and whether we did it or not.
Whether we did it or not, and whether it's valid, that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
So let's get straight into today's video.
So I've been living here in Poland for a few months now, and I gotta say it's been awesome. However, my experience here has not been perfect, and there are a few things that I have done that have definitely rubbed Polish people the wrong way. So today I wanted to share with you things that you absolutely should not do here in Poland. So one of the stereotypes here is that Polish people don't smile. That's half true and half not true. It's more like they walk around with a resting bitch face all the time, I'm gonna be completely honest, but that's just a part of the culture, especially if they don't know you. However, once Polish people get to know you, they are incredibly friendly and welcoming, small talk and everything. What I've learned is how to do the Polish smile, and the Polish smile is just like this. It's kind of like a half grin. You don't really show your teeth. You just kind of bow your head as a sign of respect. But it's not like people are going to be greeting you and welcoming you super smiley like they are in a place like maybe Spain or Latin America. Don't be afraid.
What do you think? I think it's pretty valid.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel it's kind of also like the same here in Germany. And
I think it's the same for Europe.
so in South Africa, we had a completely different experience because you don't see people when you walk around everywhere, because we don't walk around everywhere on the streets and all that. But in Europe, it's kind of different because if you go to the shop, you walk to the shop. If you go to the park, you walk there. And you can't smile at every single person that walks past you, because then you'll be smiling the whole time. So I guess if you make eye contact with someone, it's maybe, like you said, a gesture of just giving a slight smile and a nod to like just show a sign of respect. But I didn't feel like people were, looking rude or angry. So
I don't think Polish people are rude in general. I just think it's just the way the face is. And it's not to say that it's a bad thing, but I think that is a pretty accurate statement to make.
Be afraid to smile at strangers though. If you see a girl that you happen to think is very, very pretty, go ahead and smile, and if she likes you, there's a possibility that she will smile back. Just know that it's not the cultural norm here, and if people don't smile back at you, just don't take it personally. Let's talk about small talk. Slavic people in general are not really into small talk. People are generally minding their own business, as opposed to the US, where if we want to do anything, we always have to get the formalities out of the way. How are you? How's your family? How are you doing today? All of these things. Polish people are not like that. Polish people are a lot more direct. And this is something I've grown accustomed to because I actually like it. Slavic people are very honest and direct people. Don't beat around the bush or anything. If you want something, just ask for it clearly. If you say you're gonna do something, do it. Number 3.
I like that.
I think it's very true, and it's kind of how we experienced it, and also it's true also by the interaction that we have with our Polish viewers.
Yeah.
No small talk, straight to the point, and I enjoy that.
Say what you think.
Yeah, say what you think. Say it as it is. Why beat around it?
Yep, that's true.
Politics. You do not want to talk politics with Polish people. Now, if you are super well versed in it and this is what you study, sure, argue your point. But there are two things that Polish people love to do. They love to complain and they love to argue. As someone who is an outsider, I tend to stray away from talking about politics because one, I didn't grow up here, so I don't know the history behind everything. And honestly, it's just not worth the argument that it's going to create. A lot of Polish family gatherings will eventually turn into talking about politics or religion, and people will be screaming at each other. Like, that's how intense it gets. If you are a foreigner here, just know that we're guests, and I try to stay away from talking about politics as much as possible.
I think that it's not really necessarily complaining or arguing, it's more debating. Polish like to debate.
But even the Polish viewers in the comment section said they like to complain.
But I enjoy the debate that goes on between people though. I think it's interesting because not many people actually do it nowadays, where they actually fight for each other's points.
And just speak honest. You like your honest truth, say what's on your mind, say what you feel, say what your views and your beliefs are, and express it. Don't have to be scared.
But I think it ties in very much with the previous point where they are looking more at being direct. So they don't beat around the bush, and that's why they just express themselves as is.
Yep.
You definitely do not want to do here is say that Poland is a part of Eastern Europe. They will
We know this very well, and we learned it the hard way in our first couple of videos where we referred to Poland as Eastern Europe. And we were very lucky enough to have a lot of people correct us and actually show us the facts that Poland is indeed Central Europe. Like, if you look at the map, it pretty much lines up with the center of Europe.
That's correct.
So Poland is Central Europe.
Central.
They will correct you and say that they are Central Europe, and they're very proud of it. And I can even see that in their culture. Poland is definitely a lot more westernized than some of the more eastern countries such as Russia and Ukraine. They're very, very particular about that topic. So if you are mentioning Poland, always say that it is Central Europe, not Eastern Europe. There's also a very strong anti-Russian sentiment here. In one of my videos, I openly stated that I wanted
I wouldn't say it's only anti-Russia, but I also say like they got an anti-German. Like they don't like both German and Russian individuals. Not say they don't like them, but they look at the past. They refer to what happened with the invasion. Bad history.
Bad blood.
wanted to learn Russian over Polish, not because I support the country, but because Russian is an infinitely more useful language. But just even saying something small like that, people were roasting me in the comments. So honestly, I would try staying away from that topic as much as possible. Another thing you should avoid doing is talking about how your country is superior to Poland. You have to keep in mind that Poland back in the day was quite a poor country. Okay, so apparently I got this fact wrong. Back in the day, Warsaw used to be seen as the second Paris, but because of the war, everything got destroyed. So I may have made a mistake on that, but I'm sure Polish people will correct me in the comments down below. So a lot of Polish people migrated into other countries, such as the US and a lot of places in Western Europe, and Polish people have been associated with being almost second-class citizens. That's definitely changing now because Poland is quickly becoming a strong superpower in Europe, but I think that reputation has put a large chip on the shoulders of Polish people. So a lot of Americans like to travel to other countries and use the fact that they are American to try to get girls. That does not work here. Polish people are very nationalistic. They are very proud of their country, even though they spend a lot of time complaining about it. So if you feel like you're superior in any way because of your culture, try to keep those comments to yourself.
I think that Poles are super patriotic, and in all of our videos that we have done thus far, and even visiting Poland, it's been very evident in everything. I mean, we've done a couple of videos on Poland becoming a superpower, and Poles are super proud. And I don't think, to be honest, that there's another nation that is as dedicated to their country as they are.
Yep, true.
Another thing you don't want to do here is flash your wealth. Polish people are quite humble by nature and they're very frugal. It reminds me a lot of Chinese people in this way. Slavic women get a reputation for being gold diggers, materialistic, and maybe that's a little more true in places like Ukraine and Russia. But Polish people, especially the women, are not like that at all. If you want to come here, try to be a big baller and flash your wealth to everybody, nobody's really going to be impressed by that because that's just not that important here. And if anything, it's going to attract a lot of the wrong people who only want to use you and take advantage of you. I know a lot of foreigners who have come talking about cold approaching the women here and saying that the women are quite responsive. However, I don't think it's just a norm in Polish culture, and since I'm here, I want to try to assimilate to how the Polish people do it. If you do approach a group of people, it's not to say that they're going to totally reject you, just know that that's not really in the cultural norm here. When people go out, people normally stay within their groups and don't really interact with each other. But honestly, I like the fact that everybody minds their own business because I feel like I can just walk down the street and people don't really pay attention to me. Also, because there are a lot of Asians here, I don't really stand out as much as I did when I was in Colombia. If you're going to be living here in Poland,
I feel like a lot of Westerners, though, still go to like Poland, and not that I'm saying Poland is Eastern, but other Eastern European countries to look for wives. Don't you see it on like 90 Day Fiancé? Yeah. So they loves 90 Day Fiancé.
Yeah, it is actually true.
I feel like that, but I wonder if it's Polish women that seek Western men, or do you just think they doing it just to escape Poland?
Well, I haven't seen a Polish lady on that show, so I can't speak for Polish people.
I thought I've seen Polish, or was it Ukraine?
Ukraine.
Ukraine.
Poland, try your best to assimilate. And I think this is just proper manners to do any country that you try to live in the world. I think a lot of people from the West and a lot of digital nomads will go and live in a place for a year or two, try to bring their home culture to wherever they're staying. Don't do that here. The Polish people will not take too kindly to that. So once again, my friend corrected me and she said that Poland is actually quite open to other cultures. They just don't like it when you try to pressure them into changing for your culture. And I think that's one of the main reasons why there's a lot of negative stereotypes against Muslims and African immigrants right now. However,
I was about to say the exact same thing. Like, I feel like Poles don't really care where you come from, what your cultures are, but don't try and force your stuff upon them, because then they're not going to accept it.
Yeah, if you're entering a different country, don't try and force your beliefs and your rules onto that country's people. So that's just not going to sit well with anyone, I think.
I think Poland has done an extremely good job in rejecting that and just still standing for what they believe and not letting other cultures that influence what they believe in.
Yeah.
They do love Americans here. So you can say that you're probably American. Just try not to put Poland down in the process. Polish is a very difficult language to learn. So I don't think the locals expect you to speak super fluently, especially if you've moved here. Because a lot of people here do speak English. I've been here for 7 months and I have not learned it yet because I know it's going to require a lot of dedicated effort. But I think showing basic respect for the language, learning some basic phrases like hello, goodbye, thank you, stuff like that will go a long way. So definitely show some respect for the culture and the language, even though I understand how difficult it is. Another thing that I found very funny.
Language is pretty challenging.
Yes. And we actually do know the basic phrases.
We've done a couple of phrases, and I think we still need to do a couple more language courses to fully grasp the basics of Poland. But like you said, I think knowing a few phrases goes a very long way.
Yeah, it shows that you're interested and you're at least trying, and that's, I think, respected.
Funny is the fact that before you go into a Polish house, you have to take off your shoes. This is actually the same.
But that's the same for pretty much everywhere in Europe, like especially where we are. Like, it's just respect, and also taking your shoes off if you're going to put it on a seat.
Same in Ukraine as well. I thought it was a uniquely Asian thing, but no, it seems like a lot of countries on this side of the world, even the Middle Eastern countries, require you to take off your shoes before entering the house. House slippers are definitely a must, and if you walk around the house with shoes or put shoes on your bed like a lot of Westerners do, don't do that here. You're gonna get yelled at. Polish are very clean people, and that's something that I heavily appreciate because their standard of cleanliness is quite similar to how I grew up in my Chinese household.
But that's just, I think, Europe in general. And if you think about it,
I disagree.
I think it is. I think it's Europe in general. I don't know, UK don't really do it a lot, but Central Europe, Eastern Europe, I feel like it's a big thing. Like, it's culture, you take your shoes off.
Oh no, I'm talking about the cleanliness. What you said, Poles are very clean.
You disagree?
No, you said that it's a very European thing. I say I disagree because I've been to a lot of European cities and I haven't seen like it as being as clean and beautiful as Poland. Do you remember when we
I agree.
visited Poland?
But I'm not talking about the dirtiness though, but I agree with that statement. It's very clean.
But yes, it is a European
Another
thing.
thing you want to
taking off
watch
your
out
shoes.
for is speaking too loudly in public transportation. In some of the more Latin countries, maybe like Spain, Italy, the people are a lot more lively and it's a lot more common to see people talking in the subway. But here, people are quite silent. And it reminds me of maybe Germany, Austria is the same way. So if you go into public transportation, try not to make a lot of noise and be super loud with your friends. Just kind of keep things to yourself and generally be quiet on public transportation.
I like that because it's respectable, you know, to everyone else that's on the train or public transport.
It's not like that in Berlin.
Another thing you don't want to do here is jaywalk. Polish people like to obey the traffic rules. A lot of times if there's no lights or anything, the cars will stop and let you pass. But if you're at the corner of a crosswalk and the light is red, people will not cross the street. So definitely keep that in mind. And here's a bonus tip. Be a man of your word and be useful. I think there's an expectation, especially for men, that you can provide value and to be handy around the house, but just be able to do stuff, right? A common complaint that a lot of Polish girls say about their men is that they were baby growing up and a lot of them are mama's boys. So if you're a man and you're useful and you're always contributing value and you're handy and you're competent, I feel like that trait is very valued here. If you guys want to watch another video,
I don't think it's just Polish women that like that. I think all women like that.
Have a handyman. Be useful.
Yeah, don't be a mommy's boy. Sorry, moms.
Cook. Clean. Do.
Fix stuff around the house. I don't mind cooking. I will cook and clean. I just need stuff to be fixed and stuff to be, just be handy. Change a light bulb without me asking. Fix a cupboard door without me having to ask, Small things like that. That is a true man.
I feel like we should do our own one of these videos when we're in Poland. So if there are things that you feel should be added to this list, or if you feel that there are stuff that should be corrected, let us know in the comments down below, and we'll be sure to incorporate it into our video that we do in the next couple of weeks when we visit Poland. I think until next time, this is Beyond Borders.
Over and out.